Hello, beautiful, wonderful people. It is your girl Simone, Nicole here. Back at it again with another video. Today's video is going to be a doozy because it is the first time that I've tried something on my channel and completely failed. We're gonna get into the products that I tried. We're gonna get into the video, but before we do that, of course, we have to do our subscriber shout out of the day. Today's subscriber shout out is going to go to Ta. That's just their name on YouTube. This person commented on my Briogeo video, on the review video I did for Briogeo, and they said, I really appreciate that you say the comment, the person's name, and sometimes even talk about the comment during your comment shout out. Seems more genuine than people that just put the comment on the screen and say, thank you to this person for this comment. Thank you so much, Ta, for noticing that. I definitely make it a point to shout you guys out specifically because I want to give you guys personal recognition. If you took the time to come to my channel and watch my content, support me, let me be a part of your life in some way, I do want to recognize you guys. And you guys are the reason for the fact that today's video is sponsored. Before I get into the sponsor, thank you so much to Ta, to this person, for commenting on my video and being so sweet. And if you would like to be my subscriber shout out in my next video, then make sure that you are 1, subscribed, and 2, that you are leaving a nice, a positive or just constructive comment on one of my videos, and maybe you could be my next subscriber shout out. Now, as I mentioned before, because of you guys, today's video is sponsored, and it is my very first sponsor that I have on my channel. This portion of today's video is going to be sponsored by Ana Luisa. They are a jewelry brand, and as you guys can see from my videos, I'm very big on my jewelry. I picked out a couple of pieces and I got to know the brand, and I really appreciate the brand and what they stand for. They are not going to be like your typical fast fashion brands that mass produce costume jewelry. Costume jewelry and like fast produced jewelry is good for a time, but they also make their pieces out of not so good materials. Ana Luisa does not do that. They make their jewelry out of recycled materials whenever possible, so they really try to be kind to the earth in that way, and they also produce in very small batches. Something that the brand is also really big on is cutting out the middleman, because these pieces are the same quality of designer brands that you would pay hundreds of dollars for. Instead of them having a middleman, which brings the price up, they cut that out, and they want to offer you the highest quality at the most affordable prices. So the pieces that I picked out for today are these mini hoops. I absolutely love these. As soon as I took them out of the packaging, I could tell that they were a step above. I don't own a lot of nicer jewelry. I'm only 24, and you can feel the difference in their pieces. These hoops were $59 original price, but I do have a coupon code for you guys, so just wait a second on that. And then I have this chain, which I absolutely love, and the quality is apparent. As soon as I touched it, the quality was apparent, and then when you look closely on the middle plate here, it says BU, and I absolutely love that. And this chain was also 59 doll hairs. And if you would like to shop on Ana Luisa and pick up anything for yourself, your loved one, girl, yourself, give a little gift to yourself, you can use my code Simone10 for 10% off of your order. I hope that you guys do take advantage of this, because this jewelry is genuinely a cut above, and it's a definite great way to segue yourself from, you know, the young, classy but trashy Birkin bag me into the adult classy women we're all becoming. So if you would like to check out Ana Luisa, please do, and use my code for 10% off. And thank you again to Ana Luisa for sponsoring this portion of the video and for being our very first sponsor. And thank you to you guys for subscribing to me and for trusting me, and knowing that I would never put something in front of you that I wouldn't 100% back up. I appreciate you guys so much. And with all that being said, let's get into today's video, girl. Okay, so about a month ago, I decided that I wanted to go on a hair growth journey mostly for you guys, because I know that you all are constantly commenting under my videos talking about how you wish that you had longer hair, all of these things. So I wanted to make myself a guinea pig and go out and try some of YouTube's most notorious things that are known to grow hair at a very rapid rate. One of the biggest things that I found were MSMs and the other form of MSMs, aka Sulfur and Sulfur 8, and then the Wild Growth Oil, but I bought the Do Grow Mega Growth Oil. So I did all of this because I was trying to show you guys what worked for me and then give you guys advice on how I did it, how I grew my hair, without ever expecting that things would go completely left. I went onto YouTube and I watched hella videos on MSMs, and I was first introduced to the concept of MSMs or sulfur in this crystallized form maybe like 4 or so months ago. I found out about this and I thought that it was such an interesting concept, and so many people were talking about how they saw crazy results from it. I went and I watched a YouTuber's video, and she's so big on MSMs. So I watched her video and I bought these, which are the exact ones that she recommended. And then I also bought vitamin C because she recommended to take both of these at the same time because they would give you crazy hair growth. And then she also recommended to oil your scalp as well as you were doing all this. And y'all know I didn't hate oils before. Now hate them, and we'll get into why I feel that way. So I decided to get this to use, and my original plan was to use this for 2 weeks, see how much my hair grew in combination with taking the MSMs and the vitamin C, and then I was going to get the Wild Growth Oil and see which one grew my hair better. But we didn't even make it that far, sis. So in addition to having this plan, I was like, oh, and then I'm going to put Sulfur 8 on my scalp. So I was going all out. I wanted to see what was going to work the best so that I could give you guys an extremely well-rounded video. The problem is that everything went completely left. So I'm going to start from the least bad experience to the most consequential of the bad experiences. The first thing that I want to talk about is this Sulfur 8. While people warned me about the smell, nothing can prepare you for this smell. And it's not like it even smells bad at first. At first it smells like Vicks. It smells like Vicks. It smells like Vicks Vapor Rub that you would rub on your chest when you're sick. But only at the beginning. You know when you go to Forever 21 and you buy like cheap jeans or a cheap jean jacket that's black and it has that very distinct dye smell, and you cannot get it out of your clothes no matter how many times you wash them. You have to wash your jeans like 20 times to get that smell out. That's what this smells like. So imagine having this on your hair and the smell does not go away. You can wash your hair. It takes like 2 washes to get the smell of this out of your hair. The smell was penetrated into my bonnets. It was in my scarves. It was in my sheets. It was in my pillowcases. There was no amount of hair growth that would be worth me smelling like this all the time. If you are someone that can tolerate smell, then okay. If you have a job where you work at home, then okay. But I even struggle to say that because I didn't even like smelling myself. And then when I went to work, I was so self-conscious all the time that people could smell me and they thought that I stink, and it just wasn't worth it. Hated it. But to its defense, I cannot say whether or not it worked. I couldn't tolerate it for long enough to say whether or not it worked. And I'm not someone that's sensitive to smell. And this, whoo, I tried to buy an essential oil or like an oil to put on top. So I went to Whole Foods and bought this tea tree oil to put on top. And it helped for like a second. And then the smell just seeped right back on in. So that didn't really solve much. Then this I put on my hair and it felt cool, I guess. And then when I went to go wash my hair has never felt drier. Oils are a sealant. If you have dry hair, you are sealing in the dryness. If you put oil over your hair shaft and then you co-wash your hair, that oil is just, it's locked around your hair shaft and it's not letting anything in. So you could co-wash your hair with all that oil on there and then get out of the shower and your hair is going to be so dry because nothing is going to be able to penetrate that oil. that was the case for me with this. But I know that I used it once on my whole head and once just on my scalp. And when I say my hair couldn't have been drier, I mean, my hair could not have been drier. I've not used oils on my hair in so long that it just dried my hair out like crazy, and I just couldn't justify continuing the use of the oil if it was hurting my hair, because the whole point of this video was to come back to you guys with good results, good things to talk about. I didn't want to damage my hair for the sake of a video. Hated it. But it might not be Do Girl's fault. It could just be the fact that me and my hair, we just don't do oils anymore. I bought the vitamin C specifically on the advice of a couple of YouTubers that I watched. They both said to take the MSMs with vitamin C. Now let me explain what MSMs are. If you guys clicked on this video, then maybe you're thinking about taking them and you're trying to gather all the information that you can. Let me tell you something. Be careful about ingesting anything. I was really nervous about it, but I felt like, you know what? If all these other YouTubers are ingesting it, then okay. I should have been way more selective about what I put inside of my body, especially something that is not well researched enough, because sulfur is something that is naturally found in the body, but the body can't, our body is comprised of 4% sulfur, but it does not store the sulfur nor make it. What MSMs or sulfur is supposed to do, it serves the purpose of keeping the hair in the growth stage for longer, because your hair goes in stages of growth, shed, repeat. MSMs are supposed to keep your hair in that growth stage for longer, and then when it finally does shed, it doesn't overly shed, it just keeps it in that growth stage for much longer. And so many people have talked about how great of results they got taking this stuff, and to them I say congratulations, but for me it just wasn't it. I was taking the MSMs and the vitamin C at the same time, and she advised to start off on like a 1/4 teaspoon at first and then work your way up to the full dose, which is a teaspoon. They give you these directions too with like highlighted messages and everything when you order this. I got it from Amazon, so when you order this on Amazon, it comes with highlighted directions and important things to know about the product. So you're supposed to take it at first once a day, and then you're supposed to work your way up to twice a day. I went from 1/4 of a teaspoon to a 1/2 teaspoon to a full teaspoon by the time that I stopped taking these MSMs. And I would do it every single morning. One thing that I did notice was that I would take it before I went to go work out. So I would get up, and the first thing I would do is that I at first was taking the vitamin C and the sulfur at the same time, but that's what the YouTuber told me to do. But this little paper says not to take anything with the sulfur, because the sulfur can bind to whatever you have in your stomach. So in this case, it was the vitamin C. If you eat breakfast, if you take birth control in the morning at the same time, it'll bind to that and it won't be as effective. So they tell you to take it by itself. At first I was taking it at the same time with the vitamin C, and I didn't really notice a huge difference in anything going on in my body. It didn't feel as potent when I was taking it with the vitamin C. So I stopped taking it with the vitamin C maybe like on the 3rd day that I was taking it. I would notice that once I put it down in the hot water and drank it straight back, I always had to have some form of a chaser because it was that gross to me. But within 15 minutes, I would have to go to the bathroom. I would have to go poop. Everything that I was putting in was coming right back out. So I was very okay with that. That was a side effect that I was okay with. So as the days went on, it's difficult because this time in my life, the past 2 to 3 weeks has been extremely difficult. And I have a lot of things happening with my family at the moment. The things that happened would have been a lot for anybody to handle. But I was a level of sad that I've never been before in my life. I did not recognize myself. I did not want to get out of bed. I did not want to do anything. I was completely apathetic toward everything. And for the first time in my life, I finally understood, or could at least start to understand, what depression feels like. I remember it would be days where I would be so hungry and I couldn't even get up out of bed to eat. Like my stomach would be tearing me apart from the inside out, and I couldn't even get out of bed to eat. I still wanted to work. I would still try to do things that made me happy, but nothing made me happy anymore. Nothing. And I would get up and I would do my makeup, and I would feel nothing. I would do my hair. I would feel nothing. I would, you know, spend the day like doing my skincare routine. Nothing. One day I tried to do my skincare routine and I put on a face mask and I laid there and I cried for an hour listening to music. That's not me at all. If you know me in life, that is absolutely not me. There's also a video, I recorded the outro for my Diva Cut video. And when I say that in that outro, I was on the verge of tears because I have never felt so fake in my life. I was barely holding on by a thread in that outro. And I know that you guys wouldn't know it by looking at it, but I wanted to start crying because I'm just like, I'm being so dishonest towards my audience and I'm being so fake happy right now. And it's funny because my subscriber shout out today was like, thank you so much for saying the comment and not just like posting it on the screen. And I said subscriber shout out of the day, and my phone is not near me, so I'm going to throw up the subscriber shout out of the day today on the screen. Picking out a subscriber shout out takes me like 2 seconds. I was just in such a bad place that I didn't even want to go into my YouTube studio because my mental health couldn't take seeing one negative comment. So I could not get onto my YouTube studio to pick out a subscriber shout out because I couldn't risk seeing a mean comment. That's how bad of a place I was in. Now, I'm telling you guys all of this to say that I didn't put 2 and 2 together, but eventually I had worked myself up to 1 full teaspoon of MSMs every single day. And at one point, I just decided to stop taking them. I don't know why. I don't remember what triggered me to stop taking them, but I just stopped. When I woke up in the morning one day, I just didn't take it. When I say within 3 days, I felt better, I felt a lot better. And during that time, I was so down, I ended up doing what I had to do and getting back into therapy. And I remember during my first session with her, I cried from basically the beginning of the session to the end of the session. And again, the things that I'm going through in my personal life are nothing to laugh at. They're nothing to shrug off, and it would challenge any person. I feel like when it rains, it pours so often in life. And for a while, it was pouring in my life with people that I love and care about dearly. I was at 0. So it's like anything that happened, I had nothing to give because I was already at 0. And once I stopped taking the MSMs, within 3 days I felt better. All of my problems were still the same. All of the issues that I had been dealing with were still the same, and in fact, in some ways getting worse. And that's what I'm dealing with right now. And I am able to still be a human being that has personal issues, but is able to set aside those personal issues for work and to handle the things that they have to handle. I'm now equipped to do that because I'm not starting at a 0. I can't 100% blame that on these, but damn, I don't know what else to contribute it to. How is it that the problems that I was facing are still problems right now, but I in no way feel how I felt then at all? And the only difference is that I stopped ingesting this substance into my body. I don't want to poop on this brand and make it out like if you take this then you're gonna fall into a deep dark depression. I'm telling you what I experienced because it is just something to consider when you are buying the MSMs. Maybe if you suffer from mental illness already, it might make you think twice about trying something like this. Maybe you'll try them and like everyone else, you'll be completely fine. But I was not. I was not. And I cannot in good conscience just not tell you about it because I don't want to hurt a brand's reputation. And it's not about this brand. It's not about this particular brand of MSMs. It's about MSMs in general. This is supposedly the most pure form of MSMs that you can get, but it affected me so negatively that I have to say something. And I was talking to my friend about it, and she was like, I almost want you, like, I don't want you to, and I do. I kind of want you to go back on them to see if it really was that. And then I was like, I finished her sentence, and I was like, I was thinking the same thing, but I don't know if I can handle it. I don't. So I guess that you can take this video with a grain of salt and say that, you know, maybe Simone was just going through a difficult time, and I just so happened to be taking these at the same time. But I am so scared to ever feel like that again. I cannot be the guinea pig again and go and try this product just to see what happens, because mental health is nothing to play with. I can feel somebody in the comments that's gonna be like, MSMs were the best thing that ever happened to me, and you're slanderous and you just want attention and blah blah blah. Girl, if MSMs worked for you, then they worked for you, and that is good for you. But you cannot expect every single person to have this exact same experience on a product that you had. I'm just really not trying to be attacked over the fact that I don't like these MSMs, child. Like, it just is what it is. I don't like speaking negatively about brands. I don't mind it if it's just a product that didn't work for me, but this is next level. This is, I think that the sulfur, the excess sulfur in my body was making me sick. And that's a completely different other thing than just like, this conditioner didn't have enough slip for me and this gel didn't have enough hold. That's a completely different story. That's why I'm speaking with such caution, because it's a big deal. It's a really big deal what I experienced. If in fact the extreme emotions that I was feeling was due to the excess sulfur inside of my body, then I want to let you guys know. And if it just so happened that I started taking these MSMs, and then I started to feel absolutely horrible, and as soon as I stopped taking them, I felt better, even though nothing had changed in my life. If that's the case, then that's the case. But I'm gonna roll the dice and say that the MSMs, the sulfur, definitely has something to do with it. Alrighty, kitty cats, those are all of my thoughts on every single basically YouTube famous hair growth hack that is out there, with the exception of I think it's the clay bee. I'm probably mispronouncing it, because I already did a video on rice water. Rice water does work, absolutely. It just smells horrid, but rice water works. I mean, all of these products I just can't recommend to you guys. I wish I could have done a video and I just knew it was going to do super well for you guys. I don't even know if my hair grew. I didn't even like have the wherewithal to even like check to see if it grew. Just watch my other videos on how I grew my hair. It's more of a marathon than it is a sprint, but as of today I cannot recommend any of the products that I talked about in this video. Thank you to you guys for listening, and if you guys have an experience from taking MSMs, positive or negative, please drop them down below, but definitely do so in a constructive way, instead of being like, you're a dumb whore and you only want to stop people from growing their hair because you want to be the only one on YouTube with long hair. Let's leave comments like that, like in your notebook and in your diary, and then let's, you know, be constructive down in the comments. How about that? If you guys like today's video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and remember to follow me on social media. I never ask you guys to follow me on social media. Also, if you guys were unaware, I have started a new segment on my channel called Simone Fix My Hair, where you guys can send me in pictures of your hair problems that you've been having, and then I am going to try to help you guys to fix them or solve your issues. And with all that being said, remember to keep positivity in your life, because positivity breeds positivity, and we have absolutely no time for negativity in 2020. I will see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Stay cute, stay blessed. Bye.